Shows that make you laugh. Shows that make you think. Music that moves you. It could only be one place. Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, love, laugh, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Fay on ubnradio.com.
And welcome. You have just tuned in to my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it to get balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon on Universal Broadcasting Network out of the Sunset Gower Studios, and every Thursday now syndicated on my new NBC News Radio KCAA AM 1050 Thursdays at 7 p.m. for your commute home. And this is a show about hope and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K-words, no Kardashian talk at all. Instead, I want you to tune into your own reality show and we talk with guests and as well as with callers on how you can be happy 88% of the time. And thank you to all the people that support this show, including my sound engineers at NBC, Carlos, Mia, and here, Tony, my station manager, and Jarvis, my assistant producer and sound engineer. And if you missed any of my past shows, Janine Roth, Don Miguel Ruiz, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, Dr. Pat Allen, many best-selling authors and speakers, please do visit my iTunes or my YouTube for all of the podcasts for free. And just a shout out to all those people that are celebrating the holidays, which is almost all of you. And this is the season of joy and giving. And I'm hoping that all of you out there are having a wonderful time reconnecting. And if you're traveling home and you have a bit of a dysfunctional family that some of them maybe you don't want to see, I want you to play Dysfunctional Family Bingo this year. And that is just look for the best in all the people that you get to see only once a year. And actually look them in the eye and for a change, be grateful for one thing and compliment them and see if that makes a difference. And then before you go or after you come back, you can get together with a girlfriend or a guy friend to see how close you were on your Dysfunctional Family Bingo. It's a little game that I have my clients do when they're dreading seeing some people and just see how many you get right. That person who always asks you if you've gained weight, or that person that always asks you if you're married yet. So instead of dreading it, I want you to embrace this holiday season with gratitude and Thanksgiving so you can have that joy and that happiness 88% of the time. So there's my holiday message from Dr. Marissa, your cheerleader for happiness 88% of the time. And today I get to honor my moniker, my original moniker, which was Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. Once a month, I get to have callers call in and get their life tires balanced and their BS, their belief systems, smog checked so that they can be on that path to 88%. So we're going to go straight to the lines. And who do we have first? We have Renee calling in from Alabama. Welcome to the show, Renee.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How's Alabama today?
Alabama's fine. Actually, we have beautiful weather today in the 50s, and it's sunny, which is better than we had last week. So everybody's in a pretty good mood.
That's great. That's great. I don't think I've ever had a caller from Alabama, so you're breaking a first here. And to connect with me, as usual, if you're sitting down, if you could put your feet on the ground and your palms up on your lap, and gently close your eyes and take a deep breath in with me through your nose. And then releasing, soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees. And then breathing in again through the nose. Opening your heart, connecting with me through chi, and releasing so I can connect with you through eternal energy wherever you are. And one more deep breath in. And letting go of all the stories and the drama. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you currently rate your well-being and health in that category? 10 being fabulous, 1 being not so fabulous.
I would say maybe a 8.
Okay.
7.5 to 8.
7.5, 8. Great. That's close to my 88%. Let's move to job, career, what you do for the energy of money. How's that area of your life?
I would say maybe a 7.
7. Okay, still pretty high there. And then finally, if you say 10 to this, we've got nowhere to go. Relationships is the last indices of life that we can look at. How are you doing in relationships?
I would say a 1.
Okay, there we have it. You had me nervous there
Now
for
you
a
have
second.
something to work with.
I do. I'm just going to have to talk to Jarvis. Who are you lining up for this show?
And I may have gone a little high on the work thing. It's getting better than it was, so that's why I gave it as high as I did. But I could even go to a 6 because there are some concerns.
Right, but 1 is what we're gonna work. What we'll have time to work for.
Okay.
So let's shoot right there. Why is it so high? Actually, low. Sarcasm is another service I offer.
I don't know. I just have not been able to, in my opinion, sustain a healthy relationship.
Romantic or otherwise?
Romantic mostly. My friendships, I've had friendships that have, lasted from elementary school to now. So my friendships are okay.
Let's go to romance.
It's the romance.
Okay, let me look in your book of romance. Let's go back to the first couple of chapters. Okay. In a nutshell, or actually, let's go to the last chapter. What happened in the last chapter?
The last serious relationship that I was in, there were just, I think, differences, cultural differences, religious differences, and it just proved to be a relationship that we just couldn't sustain.
Got it. And how long ago was that?
The last serious relationship, I would probably say maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago, maybe.
Okay. And the one before that?
I'd have to think about that.
Okay. And how long did that last relationship last?
So that last one was 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
About 2.5 to 3 years.
Okay.
No, maybe it was 1.5 to 2 years.
All right.
1.5 to 2 years.
And then the one before that?
The one before that, the last serious relationship, my goodness, it may have lasted a year.
Okay. All right. Now, in my rarely humble opinion, one of the mindsets that I love to believe and choose to believe when it comes to relationships is it's always this or better. Mm-hmm. It's always this or better. And one of the things that I would like you to reframe or put on some glasses that say, none of my relationships have failed. A lot of my clients get into this. Well, it only lasted 1.5 to 2 years, or it only lasted 3 years, or it only lasted 3 months, and we just couldn't make it work. Okay, so those words kind of put you right into the negative right away. Like somehow you failed. Somehow, if you can't make a relationship work, there's something wrong with you or him or the relationship itself. And I refuse to. I'm on this path where criticism is not useful on a marinating basis. So if I'm constantly beating myself up about something, it's not good for me. I'm not going to get to happiness 88% if I'm always thinking that I'm failing at relationships. Okay? So even though I made you say a 1 out of 10, okay? I want that number. I don't want you to see it as a 1. I would love for you from this call forward say, I've had relationships, and I've had relationships like chapters of a book, and I've read each chapter, and I read it thoroughly, and then it was time for the end of the chapter. So this last relationship was, did you learn a lot from that relationship?
I feel that I did.
Yeah.
I feel that I did.
Yeah, about yourself?
Absolutely.
About relationships?
Absolutely.
Were there positive things that he brought to your life as a result of him being in your life?
Absolutely.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So it was a good chapter. And the one before that was a good chapter.
Yes.
Okay. Do you see where I'm going?
Okay. I do see where you're going.
Good. So now it's time, because you have set an intention by calling to say, I'm ready. I'm ready for my next romantic relationship.
I am definitely ready.
Good. So now we get to play. So this is what I would like you to do with me. Take a deep breath. Instead of telling me what you want in a man, which is usually where we go, I want you to get into the feeling tone of what it's like being with the man who is going to be a leading role in your next chapter in your book of romance. Got it?
Okay.
All right. So, when you're with him, so ideally, what is your relationship going to feel like? So when you're with him, let's start with a weekend. So on a weekend, when you're both out of work and you have time to play, what would you and your I was going to say insignificant other just to be funny, but what your significant other, your next chapter, Mr. Next Chapter, and Mr. NC, we're going to call him Mr. NC.
Okay.
What will you be doing, and how will it be feeling on the weekend? And we'll start with G-rated. What are you doing during the day?
During the day, if he is my dream man, he would go with me to the antique stores. That's the one thing that I love to do on Saturday. Maybe go to a nice brunch and then check out some antique stores and just kind of have a leisurely day. Just kind of spending time with one another.
Mm-hmm. And what will you be talking about?
Just maybe talking about our week, how things went with, his job, on my job, and just about what's going on in each other's lives.
Mm-hmm. Good. And then, does he like to cook? Do you like to cook?
I'm hoping that he likes to cook.
I know.
More than I like to cook.
Sister, I make a lot of reservations. So
I am very good at making reservations, but hopefully he likes to cook, so maybe we could go by the supermarket and pick up a few things, whatever he plans to cook for us, or maybe we could cook together.
There you go.
Dinner in the evening, and that would, is something that I would enjoy doing with my significant other. I think that's very romantic, actually.
Great. And then are you like, homebody? You like to sit and rent a DVD and watch a movie, or are you like out hiking and out exploring different lands and all of that?
I'm more of a homebody, but I think sometimes I'm both. Sometimes I like to be out and about and doing things. I love going to restaurants and just having a nice casual meal. But at the same time, there's nothing better to me on a Saturday night than eating in and watching a good movie and just bonding and snuggling and just spending time with each other.
Okay, good. And so someone who travels a lot wouldn't necessarily meet that requirement. Who's gone a lot?
Well, I love to travel also.
Oh, okay.
And Yeah, so that would be okay.
Okay.
And I think in my past relationships, would lean more towards men who didn't live in the city that I lived in, and that actually suited my taste very well because I was busy building my career and busy at work. I have sort of unconventional work hours, and so it actually worked. With him not being there all the time.
Okay, so that's so you're hoping for someone who also has their own career, isn't always going, what are you doing? When are we going to see each other? When are we going to get together? So they have their own life. Okay,
right.
They have their own success. They have their
Exactly.
own career. Okay, and has some respect for yours.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But also wants to spend quality time. When we're together, and we both make time for each other in our busy lives.
Right. So the phone isn't always ringing and texting and being distracted by all of that.
Not all the time. I know sometimes
time.
it's necessary for both our jobs, but not all the time. I think there's a time to kind of shut the world out and just be with each other.
Okay. And do you like board games?
No, not a big board game or card person.
So what is something specific that you love to do besides the antique? One more thing that is like, oh, it would be so awesome if that guy blankety blank.
If he likes to run and walk, that would be perfect.
Okay.
Because I've recently started running. I do 5Ks, 10Ks, that kind of thing. So if he would do that with me, that would be fantastic.
Fantastic. Okay, so good. We've got the design. We've created the man. That man is now in your vortex of desire, and he's making his way to you. All right? And your job is not, so your man is baking in the oven. The worst thing you can do is to keep opening the door to see if he's ready yet, because then he'll come out half-baked. Okay. So now what you get to do is you get to do all the things that you love to do. So you get to go and take yourself out and call a girlfriend to do those things that you love to do and wait as patiently as you can, because something's going to happen either when you're antiquing, which is something that you love to do, or when you're at a restaurant, which is what you like to do, or when you're out running, walking, or training, or at a marathon. That's when it's going to happen. I see it.
Okay.
I believe it, because here's the thing. You're not looking. You are enjoying those things that you love to do and holding a space open for someone to join you to do that. You're not going to wait, nor are you going to. You've already ordered it up. You ordered it up with me, and it's very powerful. All right?
Okay.
So now you just keep your eyes open, but you're... and then here's the other thing you have to do. When you're out antiquing, when you're out walking and you're out running, and when you're out at a restaurant, if you see a man who looks yummy, okay, and you don't know, necessarily, the restaurant, you don't know if he likes antiquing or if he likes walking or running, but if you're, running a marathon or you're training for something, or if you're at an antique store and you see something yummy, you have to do the 3-second flirt. Okay, this is Dr. Marissa's glue. The attraction glue, all right? So when you watch this podcast after, this is the point where I want you to see. So this is what it looks like. So you're eating or whatever, and you notice someone coming, and you're like, oh, yum. So when you catch his eye, this is 3 seconds. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Look away. That is the formula, because I have a feeling you are a professional, a career woman, okay? And one of the things that I'm speaking for myself here, when we're so strong at work, it takes us a little while to get that soft feminine stuff back that's so wonderful about us. Yeah. So we have to train ourselves. One of my teachers, Dr. Pat Allen, who's been on the show 3 times, she says that after work, listen to music. an hour of music before you talk to a man, because if you don't listen to an hour of music, you're in your alpha talking to another alpha. And if you're anything like me, it sounds like you are, you want an alpha. And if you want an alpha, then you have to be the feminine.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So the 3-second flirt is very feminine. It's not a glare down.
Okay.
Does
I
that
will
make
definitely
sense?
practice.
Good. So try this for 21 days.
Okay, 21 days?
21 days. Takes 21 days to make a good habit, 21 days to break a bad habit. So I don't want you to say anymore out of your vocabulary, it's so difficult to find a good man. It's so difficult to have a relationship. It's so difficult to find someone I'm attracted to. You no longer say those things. Do you ever say those things?
I do say those things all the time. I do.
I wonder how I knew that. And Jarvis did not say a word about that. So we do that. We women do that, and we shoot ourselves in the foot, because what happens is when those words, that energy goes out, then we see what we believe. So I want you to delete that vocabulary out. So that's the smog checking of that BS, of that belief system, and then instead we're going to balance. We're going to balance out your book of romance with this attractive field of bringing in what you know you want.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, I think I can do that.
I think you can too. Thank you so much for coming on. Take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa. That was Renee from Alabama. Thank you.
Thanks.
Fantastic. Yes.
Thank you so much. I've learned a lot, and I'm definitely going to put that the 3-second flirt to good practice the next 21 days.
That's wonderful. Peace and blessings to you. Happy holidays.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Bye-bye. Well, that was fun. I know she's going to call back probably before 21 days and say, guess who I met? We're going to have a wall of pictures, I think, of the setups that have happened as a result of these call-in shows. And right now, it is time to thank our sponsors for today's show. And if you would like to be a sponsor of this show about hope and happiness, if you're like-minded and love-hearted, please do get in touch with me. My marketing team, Jarvis Essex, can be reached through my website, the number 4balance.org, and you can have a 30-second commercial for that I can endorse as well on the show, or you can even sponsor your own show if you have a guest that you would like to have on with Dr. Marissa, as well as you can be a sponsor of guests that I've had, like Marianne from Gilligan's Island, Fran Drescher, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, Don Miguel Ruiz. So lots of past Oprah guests that you can sponsor and have your name, product, business, book affiliated with that. So that's an opportunity that I hope you don't miss, and that I hope you take advantage of on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa. And here's a sponsor.
Do you want to be a part of a holistic solution to our broken jail system? The Emerging Leaders Academy is helping reduce the California statistic where 3 out of 4 people return to prison within their first year out. In partnership with the LA County Sheriff's Department, LA Urban League, Goodwill, Long Beach PD, and the Agape International Spiritual Center, ELA, a nonprofit program, is a transformational path to opportunities with responsibility and a recognition of the unique role we all have in this thing called life. If you would like to be a partner in someone's inside-out transformation with career development, entrepreneurship, therapeutic literacy, financial education, and hope to those who think they have no alternative than to return to jail, then be the change you want to see and become an ELA partner. Visit emergingleaders360.org today. Do you want more life balance? Are you 88% happy with your health and well-being, your relationships, your livelihood? If yes, do the abundance. If no, and you'd like a life balance tune-up and align those head, heart, spark plugs and smog check the BS belief systems that are clogging your lifelines, contact Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura, at www.4balance.org for a session on the air or a private one on the beach.
And welcome. You're listening to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. Dr. Marissa Pay, actually. P for positive, EI. And you're listening to UBN Radio. If you're listening on Tuesday at noon, broadcasting out of the Sunset Gower studio, where Scandal is actually filmed, but there's no Scandal in this show. And if it's Thursday, that means you're listening to AM 1050 KCAA, Loma Linda, my NBC News radio station. And we have our next caller on the line. And by the way, before we go to the next caller, if you're interested in calling in to have your life tires balanced or your BS, your belief system smog checked, then please do contact my assistant producer, Jarvis Essex, and you can get him through my website, the number 4, balance.org. And they call me the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura because, well, 1, I try not to cut you off, and 2, because you don't have to wait on hold forever, so he'll schedule you in. So without further ado, going to our second caller today from Houston. Please welcome on the line, Barbara.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi, how are you?
I am happy, thank you. And we're going to do just a little bit of a sound check. Your phone is super sharp and nice. Could you? No, it's fine. You got it. Never mind. Jarvis got you.
Okay.
So, welcome to the show. And
Thank you for having me.
absolutely. Are you driving?
No.
Perfect. Can you put your feet on the ground for me and your palms up
Yes.
in your lap and gently close your eyes, and we're going to do this little thing where we connect through the breath. So take a deep breath in through your nose and releasing out of your mouth, soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees, and in again, connecting with me. Good. And releasing all the stories and the drama. And one more deep breath in, connecting through chi. Good. And releasing. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And you're now in my studio, even though it doesn't look like it. You're here with me. And on a scale of 1 to 10, tell me how you would currently rate your relationships. 10 being fabulous, 1 being not so fabulous.
5.
5, all right. Middle. In the area of health and well-being, how would you rate yourself?
9.
9. Ooh, good. High. And then finally, in the area of job/career, how would you rate yourself?
10.
10. Well, that's great. I've got nowhere to go with the 10, so I'm grateful that you're at that place. What is it that you do?
I am a playwright and an author, first-time author.
Wonderful. Congratulations. And what is
Thank
that? What is your book called?
Faces Within the Mirror.
Faces Within the Mirror. That sounds fascinating. And how can people find you?
It is on Amazon and Kindle.
Wonderful. And when did you publish?
2012.
2012. And give me a little commercial for the book.
The book is, I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and the book tells my story. And it's a healing process that the book takes you through. So it allows you, I always tell people, when you look in the mirror, you see sometimes what you don't want to see. And that means that you see within your soul. And sometimes it's not good things, so you have to deal with those things. And that's what the book helps you do.
Wonderful. Wonderful. See what happens when you call into my show? You get to actually do a commercial.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. And I'm super, super glad that it's a 10 for you, and best in any of my listeners, go and support. I lost your name for a second. Don't tell me. Yeah, Barbara.
Yes.
Barbara
yes.
from Houston. So let's go to the 5 then.
Okay.
All right. And that is in the area of relationships, right?
Yes.
All right. So why 5?
5, because I still have a lot of mess that I'm dealing with as far as from a child to an adult and things that happened to me within those years. And sometimes I find myself bringing some of that past stuff into relationships, and which is not a good thing. So I'm in the process of working through those things.
Got it. So this is. I'm gonna take a breath with you right now. You have shared that you've had domestic violence growing up.
Yes.
So first of all, I am sorry that happened to you. Can you
Thank you.
Can you feel that?
Mhm.
I am in the same boat. So I feel some of what you're feeling, not all of it, but it is painful to go through it. And the good news is you have found a way to transmute that pain into something that will help others. And that gift means that you made what I call a phoenix transition. My Chinese name is actually Nian Feng, Feng being phoenix. And there's no accident that I'm named Phoenix, because the opportunity that abuse gave me growing up was, one, compassion for people who also have, as I am feeling for you now. And it also gave me the opportunity to come out of the ashes and to find a way to make that pain helpful for others. And that's what you've done with your book. So I want you to take a deep breath in of appreciation from me, Dr. Marissa, who recognizes the courage that it took for you to do and make this journey. Can you breathe that in? Beautiful.
Yeah.
Good. You feel it? You receive it?
I do.
Good.
I receive it.
Tuck that into your heart. Because the reason why I want you to do that is because you live in a friendly universe, and you know that you didn't get punished with this. I hope you know that.
Yes, I do.
Good. So because you know that, I want to build on that knowing. There is no reason, there's no good reason to continue to carry that raft, which is heavy, that you needed to navigate through the abuse. There's no reason that you need to still carry that raft. And what happens is when you bring it into your relationship, you're carrying the raft that is so heavy into a land that has no water.
Okay.
So the only person that can leave the raft is who? I'm standing beside you right now, inviting you to leave your raft. But you're the only one that can actually leave the raft. It's a decision. And you might be saying, well, it's not that easy. It is, it's a lot of stuff. And, I get triggered and, I just can't help it. And I know it's not the same, but it just feels the same. Does any of that sound familiar?
It does. Very familiar.
Yes. It's time to let that go. I am standing here, actually I'm sitting, but I am standing in the faith and the belief and in the choice to know that the friendly universe does not want you to carry that raft into any more of your relationships. It is not who you are. What happened to you, yes, affected you, no doubt, but it is not who you are.
Yes.
So if it is not who you are, you do not have to bring it in. Do you get that?
I get that.
It's time.
Totally.
It's time. That's why you called. That's why you got scheduled. It's time. Right now at 11:35, it is time. From this moment on, every 11:35 in your time, well, actually, what time is it over there? It's probably not 11:35, is it? Is it 1:35?
No, it's 1:35.
Okay, perfect. Every day at 1:35, I want you to stop wherever you are. Close your eyes unless you're driving. And just take a minute breathing into the love that is you, into the love that is who you are, into the peace that is you, into the joy, into the health, into the wealth, into the unscarred place that you are. Every single day.
I totally receive that. I totally receive it.
1:35. You are a beautiful, precious child of the universe whose job is to enjoy this thing called life and have a joyride and fulfill your heart's desires, no matter what has happened to you in the past. That is, it has its place, but it is not who you are. Do you hear me? Do you believe me?
Yes, I do.
Good. Because usually,
I totally do.
Good, because sometimes people don't believe it, and then I have to go to the, well, do you believe that I believe it? Because that's a stepping stone there. Because if you can believe that do you believe that I believe it 1,000%?
I do.
And rest in that. You just grab any time you have one iota of a doubt. You just remember this conversation. You remember that you're standing on my faith, and my faith is freaking unflappable.
I love that. Yes.
Okay? It has no place. So no matter what, the next time you meet a man, and the next time you are getting intimate, or the next time you're arguing and having a disagreement, and you feel the part of you coming up that's your scared little girl, and my guess is, well, I know you have a scared little girl inside of you, because that's what happens to all of us who have had abuse when we are in our past. So what I'd like you to do right now is give me a name of your little girl who is the scared one. What's her name? What would you like to call her?
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Yes.
I'm going to say hi to Steph. Hi, Stephanie. And you are a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little girl, Stephanie. And I understand that some things happened to you when you were young in the past that made you very, very scared. But I promise you, Stephanie, that Barbara is not going to let anything happen to you ever, ever, ever again. Do you believe that, Stephanie?
I do believe that.
Okay. So when you, Stephanie, get awoken in any situation where you start feeling scared, I want you to reach out for Barbara's hand. And Barbara, you're going to talk to Stephanie and just say, darling, I gotcha. Nothing's going to happen to you. You can just sit right down, right beside me. I got my arm around you. Nothing is going to happen to you. This is a new ball game, and we're going to have some fun playing this game. We're going to have some fun creating a new chapter of romance in our book of romance. We're going to have some fun getting to know people who are nothing like the people who hurt us. We're going to find, and if it turns out that they are people that we don't feel comfortable with, then that just means that that's not the right one, but it's not going to be from us, because we are going to just jump into this thing called joy and love and romance. There's nothing like romance. And that romance, Stephanie, is something that is going to make your toes curl. It's going to make you jump. And when you get the butterflies, you're the one that's going to get the butterflies. You're going to dance around, and it's going to feel really, really good until reality hits. And then we'll deal with the reality, the balance of the butterflies, which is the reality, smell the roses and the fertilizer. And then we make a decision whether we want to stay with that person. That's all the chapter of romance is about. That's it. It has nothing to do with what we went through before. Nothing. Stephanie, do you hear me?
I hear you.
Do you believe me?
I do. I totally do. Yes, I do.
Good. And you're holding Barbara's hand?
I am.
Good. And Barbara, you're just that's what you do with Stephanie. And the more you do it, the more she believes that you mean that, and the more that she sees that you act on your own behalf, and the more that she sees that you can move through fear, and that you can purposefully tune your attention when you get triggered by something that reminds you that you take a breath and you choose to let your mind find something else. So that's a skill, that's a muscle that Barbara is going to practice. So that whenever, especially because you have this book and you're going to be asked to talk about it, you're going to have to develop the muscle to be able to talk about the abuse. And then as you feel those feelings that came up as are necessary for you to be able to help people, you purposely give yourself some downtime after a presentation, after marketing your book, after doing a book club, after doing a sharing, that you give yourself some time with Stephanie to reset, to remind Stephanie that we just had to talk about this, but it is not who we are. And it is not going to happen again. And it has nothing to do with all the chapters that we're going to be writing in this book of romance. And it might be a big, long, I was going to say a big, long chapter. I keep forgetting I'm syndicated now on NBC and I can't use some words. But your next chapter might be a really long, beautiful chapter. And it might not be. It might be a short chapter, whatever the rest of your book of romance is going to be, it's going to be an 8. It's not going to be a 5, because you're not going to carry the raft. You're going to choose and strengthen the muscle to turn your attention from that to, let's pick something. What's your, the last time you went, woo! And we're like super, like on a high. What was that?
My grandchildren.
Okay, perfect. So that's what you're going to turn your attention to. What's the name of your most playful grandchild?
Trey.
So when when you're debriefing from the book, or talking about the book, or helping someone through their own domestic violence, is you're going to take an hour afterwards, you're going to put on some of your favorite music, and you're going to have a mental date with Trey.
Okay.
Trey is going to be your go-to reset, your go-to balance of your raft and what happened with bringing you into the glory and the joy and the love of the present. And your attention is powerful enough to do that. And what you're going to do is you're going to continue to add, because what your memory of Trey will trigger you to remember something else, and triggers you to remember that time. I remember. So that design, that muscle training is going to be so strong that the time that it takes for you to move from that to this will be shorter and shorter and shorter. And that's when you're going to let the raft go. I mean, I think that you're ready to let the raft go, but there's going to be temptation because it is a habit to be so self-aware that it's getting in your way that you're going to go want to get back on that raft. So, and Stephanie's going to want to take you back to that raft, to be honest. Right? Because that's her fear is who she is. But Stephanie will, when she gets to the point where she trusts you to know that you're going to remember Trey instead of going back there, is when she's going to stop wanting to pull you along to go back there. Does that make sense?
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Good. I can do that.
I know you can, and I trust that you will. And again, where can we, on Amazon, the name of your book is?
Faces Within the Mirror.
Faces Within a Mirror. If you're listening and you know anyone that has gone through domestic violence, please find Barbara's book. And what's your last name, Barbara?
Hudson.
Barbara Hudson's book, Face in the Mirror. Amazon, anywhere he sells books, pick that up and be inspired by a woman who not only made it through the pain, but wrote about her experiences to share it so that other people could be encouraged and inspired, knowing that they don't have to live in the pain anymore. And now she is going forth from this point on, every day at 1:35, she is going to take that breath and dip into the very deep waters of faith, knowing that she's a precious child of the universe and that her book of romance is waiting for more chapters. That's going to be 8 or more out of 10. Yes?
Yes.
I love that definiteness. And thank you, Stephanie, for spending some time with me. And you just hold Barbara's hand. I know. For some of you listeners, is like, oh my gosh, she's lost it. She's talking to people's voices. But I have to tell you, as I was, my first track was actually clinical psychology. And I thought I was going to be a clinical psychologist. But then I realized I didn't have enough patience. Ha ha. Where's my horn? But what I do know, in the old days, they said if you talk to yourself, there's something wrong with you. But really, if you don't talk to yourself, if you don't actually allow those voices or those entities that were developed during some trauma, and I have to say that you're not abnormal, you're not unique in the sense that you went through trauma. There's so many people on the planet that have gone through trauma. Psychology Today says 7 out of 10 of us. That's more than half. So why aren't we talking about this? Why aren't we working our way through this? Why does it have to be, therapy for 30 years? It doesn't have to be. So I'm so glad that you were willing and able to set your raft down today, because I think it's a common thing. So if you're listening and you identify at all with Barbara, please share this, or someone who identifies with Barbara. If you are still in that place, there's so much help now. Find a local shelter. Pick up the book. I'm sure you have resources in the back of your book. You can contact me. Yes, there you go. Find the resources, and let's just enjoy the heaven out of this life. Thank you so much, Barbara, for coming on and sharing your story.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
That was Barbara, and you've tuned in to the end of Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. And I just love call-in shows. I never know what's going to happen, and I'm always affirmed through them. If you would like to be a caller, we do ask you to contact my assistant producer, Jarvis Essex, so he has you scheduled so you don't have to wait on hold. And therefore, I can fulfill my Dr. Marissa, the Kinder, Gentler Dr. Laura moniker. And we are at the end of our show when I invite you to my balance bar, when I do my Asian Oprah giveaways. Yes, I was introduced at the Asian Heritage Awards as the Asian Oprah with a lot of fanfare, which was interesting, but I am grateful that I've had a lot of past Oprah guests on the show, as well as winning Asian awards, which is why I have this honorable moniker, which just means I have to give stuff away on the show. So today's giveaway is actually my motivational card pack called 52 card Pick Me Up, Stacking the Deck for Life Balance with Dr. Marissa. And there are 52 unique Marissa-isms, and I'll pull one out right now and see which one it is. And you can get these on my Balance Marketplace at forbalance.org, but I am giving one pack away today to the first person who does sign my guest book after this show is aired. So it says, to tell the truth or lie. It is helpful when we wake up ruminating or ruin-making in our minds to examine each thought or categorize it with, is this true? Or is this a lie? I am ugly. That's a lie. I will never amount to anything. That's a lie. I am never going to get a job. That's a lie. I am never going to have love in my life. Lie. I am enough. True. The universe is a friendly place. True. Life is to be enjoyed, not suffered through. True. I am a precious child of the universe. True. Choose to live in the truth. And of course, there's 52 different cards, and I picked the one that just applied to my last caller. That's the way my friendly universe operates. Unbelievable. So anyways, we are in our holiday season, and I hope you are having a blessed time. And again, be grateful by picking a compliment for every family member that you get to see this holiday, and that's Dr. Marissa's challenge for the season. And if you've been waiting for my next class to teach balance Tai Chi Gong, which is a moving meditation that combines Tai Chi and Qigong and a balanced treatment that promotes inner peace one breath at a time, you are in luck. I'm teaching another 5-week series at the Agape International Spiritual Center starting January 10th in the winter semester. So go to agapelive.com to register, or again, find more information on my website, forbalance.org, and I'll see you in class. So that's it for this week. Don't miss another fabulous episode of Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa Pay. That's P for positive, E-I. And remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out. Don't take away the part of me that wants to stay. It's all I want, to hear my life and sing along.